I listed in 1988, March 15, 1988. You always had that in the back of your mind where you was going to be the next one to be called up. It was never that frightening for me to go because I was always entitled to serve my country. You have to do things right because people's lives depended on you.
Rance Mangum proudly served his country for 5.5 years, but when he returned to the United States in 1992 from his tour in Germany, he was homeless, moving in with his grandmother.
This is my grandmother I'm most proud of, you know.
That's proud
of. She took me in when I was, from my mother when I was 3 years old. So she's been my primary person in my life. You know,
what year is that?
I'm sorry?
What year is that?
This was 5 years ago.
Okay.
So, my mouth is a little bit tidy right now, but
yeah.
She died 4 years ago. Matter of fact, a couple of months after this picture.
She was your best friend?
Well, she made sure that she was one of them. Make sure that I had my principles and know right from wrong. My grandmother says you have to help others to help yourself.
Inspired by his grandmother, Rance dedicated himself to a life of service. 5.5 years in the military, 14 years as a firefighter, upwards of 30 years in various medical roles, including an EMT, EKG tech, and a certified nursing assistant in private duty in Florida. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, about 11% of the adult homeless population are veterans. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development estimates that nearly 39,500 vets are homeless on a given night. Homeless vets are younger on average than the total veteran population, with 41% of homeless vets between the ages of 31 and 50. 62-year-old Mangum signed a rental lease last week at a home in West Babylon, and he is in the process of settling in.
In the military, you're in charge of millions and millions of dollars worth of equipment. You are. And you come back here to the United States, and the civilians look at you as, you know, for a couple of $1,000s, and they don't think that you can handle it. When you get back here, sometimes people don't even trust you with a couple of thousands of dollars. You can tell them you can do this, and then you ask them, says, well, this is not the Army.
Rance is hoping to secure a job in the MTA after he completes his Class B driver's license test next month. But he also suffers from some medical conditions, including a benign tumor on the side of his head.
I was treated good. I can't say for anybody else, but they took very good care of me. Some of these guys, you don't know how intense they was in Iraq, Afghanistan, and to come back to the United States and don't have a job, don't have a place to live, have alcoholic problems, have drug problems, and also have the systematic from post-war syndrome. Sometimes if you just listen to them.
They just want someone to talk to.
Yeah.
That's where Carol Klein comes in. Carol's brother served in the Air Force in Vietnam, her son-in-law is a Marines vet, and her nephew is going into the Navy this month.
I just say, could you please just come and spend a little bit of time with these guys? That's all they need is just some time. Share your talent, share your time.
Along with her husband, Mark, Carol runs Our Heroes Night Out, a nonprofit organization helping and supporting homeless veterans by having gatherings with homeless vets at the United Veterans Beacon House at the Northport VA on Long Island.
Carol is a big part of helping us there. I must say, she takes her time, and you can tell from her performance that she really cares about the vets. Everybody loves this lady. They look forward to her.
Like sometimes it's just easier for people to say, well, I'll give you a check for $25. And I'm like, I don't want your money, I want your time. Mm-hmm. We had somebody who came and like brought cupcakes and a whole bunch of icing and all kinds of fun things. And first the guys were like, I don't know about this. And then all of a sudden they were all playing with this, and competing with each other who's going to make the best cupcake.
Rance says when people visit and spend their time talking with them, even just about sports and the latest news, it brightens their days. Rance is close with one of his sisters, his 2 kids, and several grandchildren, one who just welcomed in Rance's first great-grandchild into the world. Many vets, though, still find comfort in their military cohorts.
Military has a family type situation. Once you're, I don't care if you're a Navy, Army, Air Force guy, you have that camaraderie of a military person.
According to the latest VA data, there are 21,681,000 veterans living in the United States. New York ranks 5th in total veteran population, with 863,000 vets, 3/4 of the Empire State's vets having served in wartime. New York's veteran population is highly concentrated east of the city, where roughly 20% of vets live on Long Island, where Rance has called home for over 50 years between duty overseas and private duty elsewhere in the States. Veterans like Rance proudly serve the United States of America to protect our nation's sovereignty, our freedom, and American values.
Take a couple of steps in my shoes. The transition depends on the person, their educations, their situations, their past. Sometimes all of a person needs is a chance. Just a chance just to start their life over. Just don't look at them as a homeless person or a street person walking around. You got to look at the person themselves. Let them know that you care. It gives them inspiration to do better, to help themselves, you know? And sometimes people don't want to take that time to do that.
Reporting from West Babylon, New York, I'm Neil A. Carousso.